We're still a few months away from the official unveiling of Google's next flagship smartphones, but that hasn't stopped the rumor mill and some surprising code leaks from giving us an early peek at what's coming. The Pixel 10 series, which will follow up on last year's Pixel 9 lineup, is already generating serious buzz in the tech world, and for good reason. Typically, Google and most smartphone manufacturers stay pretty tight-lipped when it comes to upcoming products. Everything stays under wraps until a big event or carefully coordinated teaser. But this time around, things didn't go quite according to plan. In a rather unexpected turn of events, Google indirectly confirmed the existence of the Pixel 10 through a slip-up in the Android open-source project code. That's right. Pixel 10's first official shout-out didn't come from a keynote or a teaser trailer. It came from a comment buried in developer code. But what makes this even more interesting is what that code actually revealed. According to Mishal Rahman at Android Authority, the code mentioned a new performance mode tied to parallel module loading, a tweak that reportedly results in a 30% reduction in boot times for the Pixel 10. That's not a small improvement. While it may only affect one phase of the phone's startup process, specifically right after the Linux kernel kicks in, it still translates to a noticeably faster boot experience. And that's not all. The same code snippet also points to a 25% boost in boot speed for the Pixel Fold, likely referring to the 2023 model rather than a new one. These changes, although subtle on the surface, could mark the beginning of more widespread performance gains across Android devices. Now let's talk design and lineup. Based on leaked renders and insider information, it looks like the Pixel 10 family will include 3 distinct models. We're expecting a standard Pixel 10 with a 6.3-inch display, a Pixel 10 Pro with the same screen size, but more powerful features, and a Pixel 10 Pro XL that bumps things up to a spacious 6.8 inches. Interestingly, even though the Pixel 9 experimented with ditching the signature horizontal camera bar, the Pixel 10 appears to be bringing it back, or at least retaining it internally. That's a nod to design continuity and perhaps a sign that Google is still figuring out how to balance innovation with brand identity. But here's where things really get spicy. For the first time ever, the base model Pixel, not the Pro, not the Fold, is getting a triple lens camera setup on the back. Yep, Google is finally introducing a telephoto lens to its standard model. That's a big leap for the entry-level Pixel, especially since telephoto lenses have typically been reserved for the premium models. The new lens might even be a periscope-style design, which would offer higher quality zoom capabilities without bulking up the device too much. However, before we get too hyped, there is a trade-off. According to Android Authority's Kamila Wyszynska, who cites a trusted internal source, this upgrade doesn't come without a cost. To make room for the telephoto lens, both physically and financially, Google is reportedly scaling back the quality of the other 2 cameras on the Pixel 10. Instead of using the top-tier sensors found in the Pixel 9, the new base model will be equipped with the same hardware as the Pixel 9a, Google's more affordable mid-range phone. Specifically, that means a 50-megapixel Samsung GN8 main sensor and a 13-megapixel Sony IMX712 ultrawide lens. These are decent sensors, but they're smaller and less capable than what we saw in last year's flagship, especially in low-light and high-detail scenarios. On the bright side, the front-facing selfie camera is expected to remain unchanged, not an upgrade, but at least no downgrade either. As for the telephoto lens, it's rumored to be the Samsung 321, which was previously used in the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. That's a solid sensor in its own right, although there's talk that its megapixel count might be slightly reduced for the Pixel 10. Still, it's a significant addition to the base model, and could offer users more versatility in photography, especially for zoom shots and portraits. Why the shuffle in camera specs? It could be a strategic move to keep the Pixel 10 competitively priced while still introducing a flashy new feature. Or maybe there simply wasn't enough space in the standard Pixel 10 to accommodate all 3 high-end sensors. Whatever the case, this update changes the game for the entry-level Pixel, adding capability in one area while dialing it back in others. Meanwhile, the Pixel 10 Pro and Pixel 10 Pro XL are expected to play it safe when it comes to camera hardware. Rumors suggest these models will stick with the same sensors we saw last year, with no major overhauls. But that doesn't necessarily mean the photo and video experience won't improve. Google has always leaned heavily on computational photography and machine learning to make its cameras perform better than the specs suggest. With the upcoming Tensor G5 chip on board, we could see noticeable upgrades driven purely by software, faster image processing, smarter scene detection, and improved low-light performance, even without new sensors. And for those wondering about the foldables, yes, there's more to come. The Pixel 10 Pro Fold is rumored to be getting a modest camera tweak. The main sensor will reportedly be upgraded from the Sony IMX787 used in the Pixel 8a to the Samsung GN8, which aligns it more closely with the rest of the Pixel 10 lineup. While it's not a major shift, it does point to a more unified camera strategy across Pixel models, something that could make app and feature development more seamless for Google down the line. Now let's look under the hood. The entire Pixel 10 family will be powered by Google's upcoming Tensor G5 chip. Unlike previous Tensor chips, which were manufactured by Samsung, the G5 will reportedly be produced using TSMC's 3nm process. That change alone could deliver improvements in power efficiency, thermal performance, and raw speed. However, according to leaker Chunf, the G5 may not be a radical redesign. It might be more of a refined version of the G4, just built with better technology. So while we can expect some gains, it may not be the revolutionary leap some were hoping for. But honestly, Pixel phones have never been solely about brute force performance. What makes them unique and beloved is their intelligent software. And this year, Google is reportedly pushing even further into AI-powered features. Rumors suggest the Pixel 10 will come with a suite of new tools like Video Generative ML for advanced video editing, Speak-to-Tweak for hands-free photo edits, and Sketch-to-Image, a creative feature that rivals Samsung's Galaxy AI. There's also talk of a new contextual assistant called Pixel Sense, designed to understand and adapt to your habits across Google's ecosystem of services. So, what's the big picture here? The Pixel 10 series feels like a mix of evolution and experimentation. Google is clearly trying to push its base model forward by giving it new features like a telephoto lens, while still being mindful of costs and trade-offs. The Pro and Fold models, meanwhile, seem to be holding steady, relying on software and chip improvements to keep things fresh. Is it enough to get excited about? That depends on what you value most. If you're into AI features, enhanced usability, and smoother performance, the Pixel 10 could be exactly what you're looking for. But if you were hoping for a major leap in camera tech across the board, this might feel more like a refinement year than a revolutionary one. So now it's your turn. What do you think of the Pixel 10 leaks so far? Are the new AI features and performance upgrades enough to get you on board? Or are you eyeing the Pro or Fold models instead? Maybe you're planning to wait and see, or even skip this year entirely. Whatever your take, we'd love to hear it in the comments section. Until next time, stay curious and stay tuned.